today I'm making a favourite dish of kind of like a whole lot of green vegetables, which are of course incredibly good for your gut. And quite a few of them I'm putting in for various different reasons, and I'll go through that. And I just wanted to show you, it's a really fast dish to do. And so I wanted to bring it to life for you and show you what it's kind of, how to do it and how to make it. What have I got here? I have some broccoli, but you could use broccolini or tender stem. I've got a bit of extra virgin olive oil because I use that in my cooking because it can withstand heat temperatures up to 210 degrees centigrade without being damaged, unlike many vegetable oils that can't do that. And so I'm turning up the heat quite high because I'm kind of doing a stir fry. And so I want to get that going, and I want that to cook the broccoli off whilst I prepare the other vegetables. So what I'm going to actually do to begin with is I'm going to, let me just get my temperature right. I am going to actually kind of steam the broccoli in this dish. No need to use it as an actual separate steamer saucepan. So I'm just putting a tiny bit of water into the bottom. That's like maybe 2 tablespoons of water into the bottom of my fry pan, which I've set on really quite high heat. And then I'm going to pop a lid over the top, and I let that all come to a really good temperature. And it's going to sort of semi-steam the broccoli. And as it sort of steams it gradually, the water will come off and it'll all evaporate away. I'm using broccoli because it's just a fantastic source of beta carotene. It's a fantastic source of many ingredients that really support your liver's detoxification, and that's including helping get rid of the estrogens that we don't want circulating in our body, because we want to have estrogen doing its job, but then we want our body to naturally get rid of it after it. We don't want it to be recirculated, and so the liver plays a big role in that, as does the gut. So what else am I putting in this dish? I'm putting in some humble cabbage. And I want it to be really fine. And so I'm actually using a mandolin, but you can use your kitchen knife. I want it to be really fine because it's about the texture of this dish. I want this dish to taste as good as it is beneficial for your body. So how much is that? That was about, you judge it, 2 big handfuls probably of finely shredded cabbage. So I'm doing that. And I'm going to do some spring onions here. And I like these because they're fast cooking, but they're also onions, and I love onions in the way they have an action as a prebiotic, as does the cabbage actually, prebiotic in your gut. And also, once again, the ingredients in onions, all varieties of onions, are actually fantastic for your liver's work. Now, I'm using all parts of the spring onions, but if you can't tolerate onions generally, just use the green tops. There we go. So we'll do that. And I'm putting in some green leafy vegetables. Every day I put in some sort of green leafy vegetable into my evening meal. And I do that because it's so good for the body in too many ways to tell you. But one of the reasons I do it is it's actually great for our minds, our neurological kind of pathways and things like that. I love it. And so this time I'm using kind of like an Asian-y green. This is bok choy. And I'm using that, and I've given it a good wash because actually you get a little bit of sort of soil sometimes caught down the end here. And so anyway, I've given it a good wash. This is not a very big bok choy, so I'm just popping it in like this. There's just no need to do anything else. What else am I putting in? It's just really, to be honest, what I had in my house, in my kitchen. And I thought, right, this is what I'm going to do. Now I'm using a green chili. I'm taking out some of the seeds because I just don't want this too hot. So I'm taking out the seeds, and I'm just going to chop this up here. You can do it as finely as you like. You can have as little or as much as you like, just depending on how much you tolerate chili. If you're following a low histamine diet, for instance, then don't put chili in, or just have a smidgen. What else? I just had these peppers or capsicums in my house, so I thought, right, I'll pop some of this in this dish as well. Got a couple of colours. You just use what you've got around. You just keep layering up this dish. I'm going to make it really fine and thin cut here, because I actually barely want these to all cook. Now I think that is sounding pretty ready. on now, and that broccoli is quite soft. So let's pop everything else in. Some finely shredded cabbage, the bok choy, the spring onions, and what else have we got here? We've got the peppers going in. Can you see how it's layering up? And it's just going to make just the most fabulous dish. Now my most favourite ingredient actually in this whole dish, which actually is tossing around a bit, and there's vegetables flying everywhere, I love it. Okay, let's just do that actually. Let's bring this lid back on, because that will also sort of semi-steam, semi-work the vegetables to a kind of just a wilted state. Now my most favourite ingredient in here is ginger, fresh ginger. And I've given it a wash, no need to peel it. I'm cutting it very finely, and I'm cutting it not with the fibres, which go that way. I'm cutting it, so I'm chopping the fibres away. Here we go, like this. And then what I'm going to do is, I haven't grated the ginger on purpose. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop it into like these very fine sticks. And I'm doing that on purpose because I want the ginger to still be I want to taste it in my mouth. I want it to kind of like burst in my mouth. So I'm making these sticks of ginger. If you finely grated the ginger and then popped it into this dish, then what you'd actually find is you'd find that the ginger flavour kind of just disappears into the dish. Yes, the benefits of the ginger in your gut are still there, being a prebiotic, almost like an antimicrobial, really beneficial for your gut. But what you're losing out on is the flavour. And we want this dish to taste as fantastic as it looks. I really am losing my vegetables over the side, aren't I? Okay, that's coming along really well. Come on, back in. Okay, let's add in these sticks of ginger. I haven't cut up too finely, but you get the idea. Okay. Let's just warm this up a bit more so it's wilted. That is almost ready, because all you want it to do is wilt. Those vegetables you put in, I mean, you imagine all those vegetables you could easily put into a salad, a raw salad, apart from perhaps the broccoli needs just a hint of cooking. And so really this is a warm kind of salad with lots of ginger in it. I am going to turn that off because the bok choy and the cabbage is wilted now. You could add ginger. No, we've added ginger. You could add garlic to this as well, which is also great prebiotic in your gut. I just didn't have any in the house, so I didn't. So I am finishing it off here with a bit of lime juice. Just lemon juice. You could leave it out. You could just splash over a little tiny bit of cider vinegar if you wanted. There we are. And what I'm going to do for my protein with this dish today is I'm popping in, I just had some chickpeas left in my house, so I've got those. But if you eat, say, seafood, for instance, this would be gorgeous with some salmon flaked over the top, some cooked salmon. That would be beautiful. Or you could sear up some tofu as a protein source. That would be wonderful as well. Now, let's pop this in a dish and I'll just show you what I mean. Here we go. I think this would probably serve 2 people, although I have a ton of vegetables when I eat. So I wouldn't eat this whole thing, but I would just about go around 2 people in the house, I reckon. And I love finishing touches to this. So I have some sesame seeds in the house. So I am going to add some black sesame seeds to the top and some white sesame seeds. Fantastic source of calcium. There's a little bit of protein, some beneficial oils in there. What else have I got? I have a little bit of sesame oil in the house actually, so I might just drizzle some over the top. If you add the sesame oil whilst you're cooking, it's like the ginger, it just disappears and you don't get the flavour. I've got a little bit of gluten-free soy here. I might put that on. I'm gluten-free, that's all. You don't have to have gluten-free soy at all. Regular soy is fine. And I've got a bit of fish sauce, which I might use. I don't know whether I fancy that today. But you can see how you built up this dish here to be delicious and easy and fast. And it's really going to satisfy me. And I hope you enjoy it.